Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week of the Hobo Slayers Podcast. This is episode 8. I, as always, am PallasStreams, and today I have with me a special guest. This is blackrock14, and it's his first time on the podcast. So, welcome, Blackrock.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good. Just I'm here.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, I was just thinking second. I was like, wow, my weekends are getting more and more packed. Just for reference, this is the second week in a row I've recently switched my streams over to be weekends, and now with the podcast and community nights and everything else, I'm pretty much doing either 2 streams a day, or I'm sacrificing mine for the Hobo Slayers one, so I'm not tired for the second one because
Oh
mine are
my
mornings.
gosh.
So it's like,
So you managed to move everything to the weekend.
because
So
I'm
so
trying
your
to.
personal the oh my gosh, man.
So the reason for it was I'm trying to get better. I want to put out a YouTube channel, and I don't know anything about video editing, so I'm trying to learn video editing during the week. And I found that if I got home from work and then tried to stream, I was like rushing to eat and rushing to go live on time and everything else.
Yep.
So I pushed all the streams to the weekend while I have more time, and I can spend the week doing either watching other people like you or other team members, or I can be learning something new. But then with all the Hobo Slayer things on the weekends, it's like,
And see, that makes sense. It gives you, because I understand that, like, getting home and then having a kid too, like having to make sure like I eat and making sure he eats and then making sure he gets to bed. And then if you ever watch my stream, like majority of the time he's not in bed. Like he still comes up and hangs out. So I was like, man. So I can imagine doing that during the week, pushing everything to the weekends definitely helps.
Yep. And I've even seen some clips of you where you have the kid playing with you, whatever else. What was the one where you clipped perfect? Was it Pokemon?
Yes. Oh god, he loves Pokemon. He loves it.
So yeah, that was a good one. But again, welcome. Like I was saying, this is BlackRock's first time on the podcast. So why don't you tell us all about yourself and your channel?
Yeah, sure. Um, Obviously, I'm blackrock14 here on Twitch and anywhere else there's the social media platform. I currently am doing music and performing arts. You can see right here behind me. Oh, wait, I went the wrong way. Drum set. So I do drums here on Twitch. Started doing a live performance of that. Kind of, I don't have a song list, so I take requests from the chat and whatever mood we're in. Some days we're playing some heavier metal. Some days we're playing some jazz. Some days we got in a sea shanty one time, so we were playing nothing but sea shanties. That was fun. But yeah, so we do a little bit of everything, whatever the community feels like doing, and we just jam to it.
How long ago was that Sea Shanty one?
It was like a week or two ago. So it
Okay,
wasn't.
so it should
I
still be.
started. I played one because I was like, dude, have you guys heard this song? And then next, I just they start flooding in. I was like, all right, looks like this is what we're doing tonight.
Oh man, I still want to go back and watch that one now. I really got into back when it first came out was Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I
Oh
love the
yes,
sea shanties in that game.
dude, that game is phenomenal.
Yes, it is.
I wish we would get a new Assassin's Creed game, but that's another topic for another day. That's
So you said you were into music and stuff, but you didn't. You were always into music on your channel though.
yeah,
You
that is
used
correct.
you used to do some games. What games did you play first of all before?
So before I was a variety streamer, so I played a little bit of everything. I played a lot of like battle royale. So a lot of PUBG was kind of the main thing I did,
Hmm.
and then I eventually started doing. I did some Hearthstone for a little while. There was another card game called Minion Masters, which I still play that one from time to time.
Not familiar with
Um,
that one.
it's a free one on Steam. It's really good, but I kind of did a little bit of everything. I'm trying to think of some more popular. I played Prey for a while. I actually completed Prey on stream. That was like one of the only games I've ever completed on stream. But yeah, so I started out doing that. Just variety stream on a little bitty laptop, and then over time developed, bought a computer, built it, and over time, and I've only started doing music within the last like 3-4 months. So the whole music aspect is completely new to me.
Okay. So is that where you want your channel to go? Is just be all music, or is that something you're just doing for now?
That's something I think it would be. I've noticed personally increasing growth doing this. Because beforehand I didn't really have much of a niche. I was kind of just hopping from game here to there, doing whatever, playing with certain people, playing by myself or whatever. I was almost shotgunning into the black, right? But now I have a specific audience. I have a specific group and a niche, and doing that just as a business standpoint is so much better, personally.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Well, that's awesome. So what made you transition from what got you interested in doing the music and transitioning from being a variety streamer to being a, so to speak, a single game streamer in the terms
Yeah.
of music?
Yeah. I I don't know what actually clicked with me. I've always kind of watched a few drum streams. So there's a few drummers that I on here on Twitch. There's Floop, 8-bit drummer, and then Seth Drums. Those are kind of the three main ones that I started watching. And then over time, I was like, I know how to play drums. Like, I could do something of this nature. And then, so the biggest challenge with me is in doing that is I have the skill. Like, I know how to play the drums. It was setting everything up. It was no such thing as, oh, I'm going to plug in this Blue Yeti USB microphone and just play a game. Now I have an entire soundboard. I have a XLR mic. I have to run everything from the drum module to the mixer, then to the computer, and then mix it on the physical and the digital side. So that's kind of been the biggest thing for me It's just trying to understand audio because I don't understand audio at all.
I understand. I'm learning audio a lot myself. You actually mentioned XLR mic. I just recently got one, which you can see right here. So
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot as well. When it comes to audio, audio is something that I never considered. Like I wouldn't say I'm getting into audio, but it's really interesting when you get into some of the things about it. And there's some things that still like it's I don't wouldn't say I understand it, but I'm gotten kind of used to it. Like the whole decibel thing, like the negative number, the higher negative number, the lower volume,
Yes.
stuff like that. Some of that stuff is like I don't understand why it's that way, but whatever, it works.
Yeah, you think negative would be lower and positive would be higher, which makes sense to think that way, but nope.
Yeah. So yeah, it just some aspects of it is interesting, and I don't. Did you always have SR mic on stream?
No, I started out with a Blue Yeti.
Okay,
Or
so
take that back.
USB.
Yeah, USB. Oh, I started out. I had like a headset, and then I went to the Blue Yeti, so I had a USB, and then I've only recently. So whenever I started doing drums, I had a. So I got this mic, which is a dynamic mic, and I had a condenser mic before, but the condenser, again, learning stuff with audio, condenser would pick up the background noise of me actually hitting the drums. So I
Hmm.
had to actually do research on different types of microphones and I found out which microphone I needed. And gosh, way too much that I learned in that short amount of time than anything.
I understand completely. Mine is also dynamic mic.
Mhm.
I had a cardiac condenser before USB, so I understand that completely. So just kind of getting to know you a little bit there in terms of the mics and stuff. I want to know if you had a similar experience I did. So when I first switched over from USB to, well, even before I switched over to this mic, I started using uh, voice meter potato,
Mhm.
and so it was I didn't realize this, but it was getting me ready for the SR mic because I was so used to adjusting things within OBS
Yeah.
volume wise. And so it took me the longest to wrap my head around like, okay, voice memory potato is like my own personal mixer sitting here on my desk. And did you have a similar thing where you had trouble transitioning like that, or?
So I try to use Voicemeeter 1 point beforehand, but I had some issues with it. Like my audio would kept cutting out. Like I didn't do something right. At that point in
Right.
time, I didn't know what I was doing. Um, but once I got an actual physical mixer, I think I prefer to have everything right here in front of me. If I can physically touch it, I do better understanding and learning.
Yeah.
So once I had an actual physical mixer, able to turn down my highs, my lows, my gain, figure out that sort of thing, and then see the because on my mixer also it also has like the peak bar essentially to see how where my voice or the what audio is coming through if it's peaking or not. So actually able to see that physically instead of all on this a screen, I was able to pick it up so much quicker.
Yeah.
Then once I'm obviously fine tuning sort of thing, but once I got the gist of it down, it was so much easier than beforehand, honestly.
Yep. I still occasionally have trouble with voice memory, but for the most part, I think I finally kind of got it down. I can adjust things. Like someone can tell me something on stream, like adjust your volume
Mhm.
here or there. Like like I can't hear. Like they can say I can't hear the people on Discord, or I can't hear you, or the game's higher than you. I got to I can finally kind of know where to adjust things now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting if I ever get a actual mixer and have to relearn some stuff. But
Yeah, that's what I did. Once I kind of found like I had chat because while on stream, you can't judge your audio at all. Like you literally have to just stream for a couple hours and then go back and watch your VOD and be like, all right, well, let's fine tune this. Unless you have a chat, which chat has helped me so much. But hey, like this sounds bad or this sounds good. So once I kind of found a range of where everything sounds good, I very rarely have to tweak audio now. So I grabbed like a Sharpie and just like marked exactly where the things needed to be. So I'm like, all right, this is this is like 0 for me, and then from here we can adjust, but this is a default. Once I found that out, then it's been so much easier. Occasionally,
interesting.
whenever someone requests a song, like depending on how old the song is, either the audio is absolute garbage or it's
Yeah,
like stupid loud. That's like the only thing I really have to tweak is just with audio coming from my computer. But other than that,
that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that way. I'll have to get, make note of where things are for stuff now.
yeah, that's the biggest thing with being on digital. Like I did that too. I had like little sticky notes where I took pictures on my phone. I was like, all right, this is 0. This is default.
Nice. Good to know. Okay. Uh, sorry, I'm checking through notes and other things as well as I.
No, no, you're good. Yeah, so it's one thing that we were I mentioned earlier before we started in my notes I got was that this is still on music and stuff that Twitch is now recently like we've always like there's always been like a music space, but they're developing it so much more. Here I'm trying to pull up the link right now, but they actually hired someone to be I don't want to get her title wrong. Um, Twitch partnership manager. So they hired her. Here, I'm gonna drop the link right here in the chat if anyone wants to look at that.
Whoops.
Oh nope. Oh,
One
can't do
second.
that. My bad.
I
My
can get. I
bad.
can get it for you.
Whoops.
It
But
should.
anyway, so
There you go.
Twitch is actually recently pushing the music area of Twitch. Not just okay, there's just some people that do it, but they realize that there's a lot of people doing it and there needs some sort of guidance, I guess. I'm interested to see where this really takes off for Twitch. Having someone in the front and leading this, where does Twitch see the music industry? What are their plans for it? And I'm just curious what's going to really happen in the music area, and it's kind of exciting being in that area, seeing things change. You know?
Yeah, I'm finding it interesting that what the person that hires a former Spotify executive.
Yes.
That's interesting because I
So
mean, yeah.
I mean, she knows what she's doing. She has the experience. She has the knowledge. As I said, giving the new year, we're only 2 months into 2020, but at the end of this year, or maybe another year, 2 years, what is she going to do, and what is Twitch going to do that pushes this industry or this area?
Well, okay.
Because now that
Well,
because
she
they hadn't
does. Sorry to interrupt, but she does
no
say, going off what you just mentioned, she does say where her D's are, and they'll be focused in two areas: music career acquisition, or in other words, getting more music communities involved and engaged on Twitch, and
mhm.
growing the amount of time spent watching music streams on the platform.
Yeah, and like they say that, but like what does that entail? So the amount
Gotcha.
of time spent, like I'm interested. How do you
Well,
get
well, they
I'm thinking
are. They
maybe
are.
more like front page musicians? That's one thing I can only think that, like, would increase, like, watch times.
Well, I think it's partially that. So maybe because if you think about it, Twitch is getting more and more like YouTube in terms of how they do things.
Yes.
So if you I don't know if you kept up with the TwitchCon news when they all announcements happened at TwitchCon, but
Mhm.
one of the things they were talking about was having to where when you're not streaming or not online, you can have like a introduction video, kind of like YouTube has.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Now a whole new like profile page for your channel, which looked really similar to YouTube. And so I'm starting to wonder if it's going to be something like maybe yeah, maybe throw people up on the front page of Twitch, but also make it more like um I don't think of the right way to explain it. It's like so
Almost
if for a YouTube channel they keep track of like subscriber view count versus non-subscriber view count, things like that, things like push you in the direction of getting larger amounts of like having your the people who watch the channel be more subscribers and anything else. I wonder if they want to do something kind of
yes.
like that where they're trying to get you motivated to push people to watch your channel through whether it's subscriber or whatever else or other source of getting the people
Yeah,
on there.
hopefully, if they're going to go, like going something way YouTube, the biggest complaint of Twitch is obviously discoverability.
Yeah.
So maybe they might utilize the VODs or highlights or something or clips or because there's nothing really utilized. You have to utilize the thing that Twitch has on other platforms in order for it to do anything.
Yeah.
And that's Twitch needs to fix that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest thing you just kind of hit it for me is if they're going to do this music thing, there's a couple things they need to change, and that's VODs. I don't think
Mhm.
they should be that. I think it should be more like if they want to do it, they're going to get rid of that whole VODs go away after so many days thing.
Yep.
Because otherwise someone makes a new song and people really like it, unless they clip it or unless they make it a highlight, it's going to go away in 14 days or
Mhm.
60 days, I think, if you have Twitch Prime.
Yep.
And so,
And
and
the biggest thing too with
right now highlighting is just extra work for the streamer.
yeah, it really is. And the biggest thing with going back with VODs too is anything with music. Like I said, I take requests from the chat, so they just drop YouTube links and we play it. But if you go back and watch my VOD, majority of my VOD is all muted because of copyright, which it should be. I'm not arguing against that, but it's very difficult to do any highlights or any clips because unless it's clipped during that moment, like to get extra things is very difficult, and that's why I've started to record to be able to do that because I have to record myself in order to make clips to post other places.
Right. Yeah.
So like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's an extra step, which
Right.
that gets into more legal issues because you don't want to take someone else's work. And I'm not saying that you should, but it's extra difficult.
Right. Well, I mean, even if you take out the factor of other people's work, if it's all custom work where you're making all your own music and stuff like that, it's still extra work for the streamer and for getting things out there. And it's like, especially if, like I said, if you want to keep something, you either have to highlight it or clip it. Well,
Yep.
if you forget one day to do it, and then say you go on vacation or something like that, and you come back and that's gone because you forgot to do it if you went on vacation because you had that in mind, it's just
Yep.
gone unless you can
Yep. And there's
recreate it
nothing you can do
somehow.
about it.
Yeah, unless you can recreate somehow, it's you can't get back. So I think doing that would be. And the second thing, of course, you mentioned is discoverability. Like, they've got to improve that search. I was looking for somebody the other day. I typed their name. I typed it exactly right, except there was a space in the middle because it was a display name of how they got their name.
Gosh.
Because you can change, what your name looks like on
Yeah.
Twitch. It's the username versus the display name that people see. And I didn't have the space, and it never could find it.
Yeah, like you think if you would at least get close enough that they'd be like, "Oh, this might be the person."
Yeah,
But like, there's so many people out there that we've never heard of us, and in between, like there's very few ways to get discovered, and you just have to work stupid hard, which you
mm,
should. Like, I'm not saying that it should be given to anyone, but it's you have to go outside of the box to do certain things.
right. Yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't know that was actually happening, so I'm glad you shared that.
Yeah. And so that's the biggest thing in like the music area of Twitch. So Athena, the person they promoted or got the manager position, she's posted a few times on her own Twitter that they're hiring few other people underneath her. So she's kind of retweeted that link or whatever. Um, like I said, they're doing something. They have something in mind. I'm just curious to find out what it is because we're at the very beginning of these stages, whatever you want to say. So, like I said, within the year or the next 2 years, music industry is going to change dramatically here on Twitch.
Right. There we go. Okay. Yeah. 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 See,
Yeah.
you sent me the list of like links and stuff the other day, and I read Athena and I read the title, but I immediately thought of somebody else. I didn't actually go to the link, and so I thought that was something else the other day. There is actually a Twitch streamer named Athena.
Is there?
There is, who does gaming and stuff, but that's who I thought of, and so I didn't read the full thing, and so I misunderstood what that article
So you're
was.
just like, wait, why is she the music manager?
Yeah. So while we're still on music, you had another article about Drake. You want to share that?
Yeah. So
I'll
I came
post a
across
link.
this literally the other day. Um, so I didn't realize there's another streaming platform called Caffeine,
Hmm?
and I had no idea that thing was existed. But it says here that Drake signed streaming deal with Caffeine. So he is now going to be doing. I'm trying to just skim it real quick. Doo-doo-doo. But he'll be doing more like live, like mixing live. I mean, it's live music, but him writing the music essentially.
Right, and
Uh,
I actually ran into this because I was on a podcast episode the other day. Actually, um, there was um, this was the topic, and we actually the article I mentioned was it compared him to somebody else. I can't remember who it was, but it was like his close friend, whatever, was doing it on Twitch, whereas Drake was doing it on Caffeine. And so I
mhm.
wondered how well that would work in terms of working together. Because, they talk about now with the whole Mixer thing of like people on Mixer can play with people on Twitch and stuff like that. And so they wondered how it would work with copyrights and things like that.
Yeah. 'Cause I was reading here, the biggest thing with Caffeine is they only sign like major label people. They don't really sign anyone else. And so
Interesting.
reading here, Caffeine streamers can make money when they're streaming without the need of constant daily content from other platforms. That encourage this is the streaming easier to fit the business schedule. Blah 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 blah. But anyway, so they make money just streaming, not doing anything. Like they don't have to have subscribers or donations or anything, which is an interesting thing. But Caffeine is meant for larger um creators, larger. I'm trying to think of the right word. Artist. There we go.
So are they just trying to get, if they're not doing subscribers and like that, are they getting their money from like ad revenue, things like that?
That's the only thing I can think of. This article's literally only like a couple paragraphs, so I'm not.
So it's almost like a live streaming version of Spotify.
Yeah, I would think so.
I mean, that's
That's
what
the
it
way
sounds
I
like.
kind of
It sounds
understand it.
like to me. If there's no subscribers, anything like that, you're basically saying you're taking Spotify and making it a live streaming platform where they can stream their music live.
Yeah. I mean, if you get people like Drake to stream his music live, you got to think the amount of people who's going to go over there and watch him do that. The ad revenue is going to be stupid anyway. So you wouldn't need anyone to subscribe or anything.
That's true.
'Cause, I mean, you got to think Drake's one of the biggest rappers of our time now. So the amount of followers he has that's going to go follow him to there is going to be stupid.
Yeah. I wonder who they'll get next, though. That's interesting.
Yeah, so like I said, I didn't realize caffeine was a thing until literally the other day, and I was like, "What?"
I've heard the name, but I didn't know what it was. You always hear about these live stream platforms like that, but they're not as big, so people don't really go into what they are or anything like that. So I just thought it was like another Twitch.
Yeah,
Because we now have Caffeine for Music, we have Mixer, Twitch, D Live, and there's like
yep.
two or three more that I've heard of.
Yeah, everyone is getting to the live streaming thing now.
It's funny how the last 2 or 3 years that it's really changed. I mean, used to if you
Yeah,
heard someone live streaming, it's like get a job. Now it's like, oh, that's they're making how much?
yeah,
That's a real career. That's a real
exactly.
career now. It's
And
like,
not only like live stream, but like gaming itself. Like since in the last 5 years, since I was in high school, like people now like gaming is now normalized. Like people don't like. It's not like the movies. People pick on the nerd for playing video games. Like no, everyone plays video games. Everyone has a game on their phone or a console at their house, a PC. Everyone has something now,
yep,
and it's normalized.
yep. And I guess I'm kind of in that later sense of things because when I was in high school, I came from a small school, and so like even the players who were like football or band or whatever else, like we would all get together and play. Like it didn't matter what group you were in, we all got together and play Halo and things like that. So
Yeah.
I come from that group where it's like we were the first ones to not really care anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting seeing how people have reacted to us.
Yeah, because it's just interesting seeing like just the games, the gaming community evolve as much as it has.
Yep.
Like even since the original Xbox 360, just I said playing Halo. Like I remember still having like doing like Halo like LAN parties, right? So you have like 8 different Xboxes, you got 40 different TVs, you got a bunch of dudes and Doritos and Little Caesars pizza in one room.
Oh man, dude, that reminds me. I was in Boy Scouts growing up, and I worked summer camp. It was my first job ever, and I remember. So at the Boy Scout camp for the staff, we had this area that was like small little cabin type things they built for us, and there was they ran out of cabins, so they had like these big huge tents that we were in. But those were so
Mhm.
in cabins. They actually brought their Xbox. Was it Xbox or Xbox 360 for the original Halo 2?
Halo 2, it was a regular Xbox
Okay.
original.
So they had the original Xboxes. They would so you had bunk beds on each side, and they would literally have four of us on this set of bunk beds, the TV on bottom, TV on top for each bunk bed. So people on top were
My
playing
God.
this TV, playing on bottom, playing this TV. Had two TVs out on the little porch that we had, and we connect all four together for a 16 player Halo game,
Oh my
custom game.
gosh.
I was like 14 or 15 at the time.
That is
And
awesome. I love the creativity to prevent people from screen cheating. That's what I love.
exactly. And so you had people outside playing the people inside.
Man, that is awesome.
Thank you, J Rob, for that follow. And welcome to the podcast. We're just talking here a bit about some art and now transitioning over to a little bit of gaming. So,
Hey, going back to it, man.
oh man, that brings back some memories though. Just I can remember I'm 14, 15. I never stayed up late at that point in time, and that was my first time ever. Like we are up to like 1 a.m. having to playing games, and now like, we had to be up at 5 a.m. to start getting ready to get the young kids up and get them going throughout the day.
Yeah, like doing like LAN parties. So I remember we did Halo LAN party, well as like I eventually we did like computer LAN parties. So we played. It was when Diablo 2 was really big. So we would play Diablo 2, but this was like we still had like the tube monitors, right? Like the massive monitors, these massive PCs, like, and we would. One specific time, we were my brother's room. We cleared out his entire room, took out his bed, his chest of drawers, everything, and we lined up fold out tables around the entire like outside of it, like around the walls, and we had 8 people, like 8 different computers in one room and playing Diablo. We went through Diablo 1, then we completed Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 in like one sitting.
Wow.
I couldn't do that now. I couldn't like play more than 4 hours now. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Do you remember what your first LAN party was?
My first LAN party. Yeah, it would have. It was either Halo or Diablo, one or the other.
Okay. My first, I guess what you would consider a LAN party was I had a friend in a school who was Hispanic, and he worked at Domino's. Well, another friend, Domino person that ordered Domino's with him had um Elder Scrolls Morrowind,
Oh man.
and my friend introduced me to him, and we went over to his house one day after work. It was like a Friday night, and he was like, no, it was a Saturday because we're all off that day, and so don't know how we managed that. We were all people who were like closed, so we were like the late people at night. So somehow we ended up with Saturday where we all ended up off. And
Yeah.
so we went over to his house, and he was playing on his desktop. He had a couple of laptops laying around that I guess that he had bought from other people everywhere else because he ever had friends over there to play with him. And he set up Morrowind on all three PCs, and somehow like modded it or something like that to where we could all play together.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you gotta think this was back when Morrowind was like was still going, like still
Yeah, like
popular. So this was like
that.
that was like modding in its very early days.
Yeah, like Morrowind. When did Morrowind eventually like first come out?
To well, Oblivion came out in 2006, so it was before that.
Oblivion's one of my favorite ones. I like the gameplay in Oblivion more than any other game, personally. I don't know if that's because that's one of my first Elder Scrolls games I played and I have like an emotional attachment to it or what. But
Yeah.
Oblivion is always my solid go-to.
So Elder Scrolls Morrowind came out in 2002. So this might have been. So this was like. So this had been. Oblivion was already out when we did this because I
Okay.
was driving age. So, yeah, Oblivion was already out at that point in time. So, but yeah, they were. I had never seen Morrowind before, so he was like, "We'll play Morrowind." And I remember, I think he had it modded to where it would let us play together. And
That
we,
is cool.
I think that's the. No, I take that back. Sorry, I'm mistaken. We played Morrowind separately, and then we switched to Doom, and that's what was the LAN party was.
Okay.
That makes more sense. Sorry.
Yes. 'Cause I was thinking, I was like, that's impressive to do that with Morrowind, but dude, Doom is. I remember I played some Doom too.
Yep.
I'm trying to think what like my first LAN party would have to be either when we did Diablo or Halo 2 because I'm still relatively young. So a lot of the first kind of LAN parties was past me, right? So I was like the second wave of
Same here. I think we're roughly the same age.
yeah.
So yeah, I came into it late. Like I only like I didn't have gaming PCs and like that. Like if I went to a
Mhm.
LAN party or anything like that, I was using someone else's PC or I was
Yep. Same.
doing something like someone else's games is like that because I didn't have anything like that. I mean, I got everything hand me down. The first console I ever got that wasn't hand me down was a PS2.
Man.
From my sorry, I take it back. I had a Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, but as far as actual consoles, the first one that was a hand me down was the PS2, and I didn't have anything else until the Xbox 360, which I got from Microsoft.
You got from Microsoft?
Yeah, I was a in college they call it a Microsoft student partner. It's like Microsoft hires a third party company to
Mhm.
handle some marketing for them on the Xbox stuff things. And so
Interesting.
that company reaches out to students in the college and university level
Mhm.
to promote Xbox. And at that time, like Windows Phone and all that stuff, they like try to get people to try like get us to teach students how to make Xbox games or make Windows Phone games, things like that, and just promote all that stuff.
That's
And so
cool.
each year we'd get an Xbox 360.
Interesting. See, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's really cool.
Yep. So I
So the
got three Xbox 360s from them over the 3 years I was a part of it. Gave
the
one
first
away as part of a extra life prize too.
I mean, if it was just sitting there, might as well.
Yeah, I had to fight with them to let me give it away on that one because I was like, I already have one. There's nothing wrong with it. Y'all have already fixed the red ring of death issue. Let me just give it away.
'Cause the first Xbox 360 I got, my brother had one, then I went and bought one myself. But I worked like I cut grass. I did like worked for a couple like old people around like the neighborhood or whatever. And I saved up enough money. I went and bought an arcade, the Xbox 360 arcade. It didn't even have like a hard drive. It only had like
Oh
500 like
man,
megabytes of like memory like on the thing itself. And it came with it was like it was like Sonic like Tennis or something stupid like
yeah,
that. But that was like the first thing. That was like the first console I ever personally owned, like
man.
brand new.
I forgot about the arcade.
Yeah.
See, the one I got was the Slim Edition, so it was after the arcade.
Yeah, arcade was still like the big bulky white one.
Yeah, what one I
That
got
was
was
like
the
one
what I got was the black Slim Edition.
okay.
So it was like
Yeah.
it was the first set of you don't have to worry about red ring of death series of
Yeah.
Xboxes. Like,
Yeah,
okay, we fixed this. Let's slim it down now.
I think I still have because I think my arcade eventually broke, so I went and got a new 360. But that one was like It wasn't the slim. It was like a black one, but it was still like the like the big bulky one. So it was like the same model. It was just a black one.
Right.
And to this day, I still have that one.
Do I even have my 360 anymore? I think I might have it. It might be at my parents' house. Um, what
I
was
need
the?
to get a I need to get a one, but I've been investing too much. At this point, like I have like a PC and like I can get Game Pass. I'm like a one really isn't that important to me anymore.
Well, I wouldn't get one at this point, anyways, with the new series of stuff coming out in a few
Yeah,
months.
true.
And even then, I'm not gonna buy one because I got an Xbox One X now. But it's like for the first couple of years, they're not gonna release anything that's Xbox One series only. Because like they actually said the first year or two that all games they release are gonna be compatible on the current generation and the new generation. So it's like
Yeah,
until it fully goes over to, they're not gonna make it for both anymore. There's no point in me actually going and buying one.
yeah. That's what they did with the one when it first came out too. Everything was backwards compatible.
Well, I don't mean like backward. Like they're gonna have backwards compatibility through emulation, but like for Xbox One, like they didn't release brand new games that said 360 on anymore. It was Xbox One. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Right. What they're
Wasn't
gonna do with this new generation is it's gonna work on both Xboxes.
See, that's what I'm just like. Even if they still have Game Pass and games, if Game Pass still works with the games they release for like the new generation, then like what's the point of even getting a new console at this point?
Like I said, for a couple of years, there's no point in it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Uh,
the only thing I can think is if consoles are family friendly.
yeah,
Period. So if you want to get a console for your family and you don't want your 12-year-old to have a $1,500 PC, very smart choice. Buy him an Xbox.
yeah.
But for that's literally the only market for consoles now, in my
Uh,
opinion.
I'll tell you what I'll probably do is I hope in a couple of years I finally have my own place. And what I plan to do is get my own place, put the Xbox One X in the living room, and buy the new Xbox Series X for streaming. Because I mean that way I can play the new games on stream, and anything that's not new I can just play out there in the living room.
Yeah.
Because
It's not a bad idea.
that's the issue I have now is because my all my consoles and stuff is plugged up to my PC for streaming and stuff. It's like, okay, if I had to get in front of my PC in order to play any of those games, so I was like, I might as well stream it.
Yeah.
So it's not I'm not as relaxed as I would be if I was in my living room playing.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing because I had my sitting there in chat, someone talking about the Switch. I had my Switch hooked up to my like my capture card and stuff. So every time I played my Switch, I was like, you know what? I'll just stream it. And now I'm like, wow, playing games by myself is like I enjoy doing that. I don't like to entertain all the time. Like I want to play games and not have to worry about things, right? Like,
Right. I'm gonna put on a couple comments here in chat because I got these. These are great. 360 days gone but not forgotten. And then,
salute.
but you'll get the Xbox Series X confused with your desktop PC because they look the same. They do look similar, however. I think I looked at the sizes of them. You can tell a difference between a PC and one's gonna be a good bit wider.
Unless you build like a micro PC, it'd be close.
Yeah, that's true. Though from here, I'm only gonna go up. I I actually have on my future list, like future, is I want to build one of those PCs that, like, take my current PC and upgrade it by getting one of those cases that lets you put two PCs in one
Mm,
and make and do an
that'd be nice.
ITX and an ATX. So I have one small motherboard, one big motherboard, and the small one will be my streaming PC.
That'd be smart.
Save space while
Well,
also
yeah.
save
See,
resources.
so that's what I thought about doing is because I've built my wife a PC from all the me upgrading mine. I kind of just took all like the spare parts and threw them in there. And so like I have one, but it's just crap in there. Some part of me is like, I could use that, but it would be useless. So
Damn it, I could swap my work computer out and no one would know the difference. Send my PC that I could pass for an Xbox. Yep, some of the computers nowadays, with the way they're building cases and stuff, they'll look exactly the same.
you really could like if you build a like you said, if you build a micro one, like I honestly like the really small things because it's easier if you want to like port it somewhere, you don't have to lug this massive case around. It's super easy to carry something really small and you have all the power. But saying that, also in all laptops now that you can you can get a laptop that has stupid amounts of power in it as well
Yep.
for dirt cheap. I mean, I say dirt cheap, but
I'm looking at the picture of the Xbox Series X. I'm thinking, where am I gonna put this thing? Because right now, because right now I have my PS4 on top of my Xbox. I'm looking right at it, and
mhm.
the PS4 gives off heat on the top. Well, the Xbox Series X isn't wide enough if you lay it down to support the PS4.
Interesting.
So I'd have to move some stuff around to make room for it.
You figure just clear off a bunch of room on the desk and just like, eh.
I would need a bigger desk.
So I need this bigger desk too. Like I have I have my main monitor here. Then on the side, I have like a little like a TV tray. This is what my second monitor's sitting on. It's not even on the same desk. It's
Oh, I'm already wanting a third monitor. I'm thinking, okay, as soon as I'm with a third monitor, I'm going to either get a bigger desk or I'm going to do something about my mic because I'm pretty sure one of my monitors would hit my mic or the mic would be in the way, I guess.
that's what I've seen. Like people like being flush up against the walls and people like mounted up top. I'm like, okay, like I could do that.
So you can actually see behind me, there's a wall right here. It
Hmm.
is, I mean, I'm pretty close to it. Like my arm is bent. Like that's how my arm is when I touch it. I don't have
Yeah.
much space here. So I thought about it and it's like, if I turned my desk around, I'd have more space behind me. I actually have people
Hmm.
like me because I've mentioned about losing weight and stuff. They're like, well, you always put your stream where you have like for every sub you do push-ups or something like that. I was like, well, if I turn my desk around, I might have room for that at that point. But I was thinking about it. I was like, if I turn it around, I might actually have more room for like monitors and other things I want to do. But then you see all the junk that's over there, so it's like,
You're just like, yeah, we're doing it this way so you don't see what's back behind the setup.
exactly. So it's like,
Like I said, on camera, the setups look great. It's behind the scenes that no one really sees.
yeah, I'm thinking, crap, I'm gonna have to hire somebody to clean up this room for me to get clean enough to do this. Because
It'll
if I
take
do it
you way
myself,
too
it's gonna
long to
take
do all
years.
that.
More just I'm lazy.
I feel that one.
Yeah, these are the kinds of things that goes in my head. It's like, if I rearrange this, what can I do with this?
That's like the worst thing about whenever I set up everything is cable management. I am terrible at cable management.
Oh, dude.
Like gosh, it's so bad.
So my desk is actually an L-shaped desk, but there's nothing here. I took it off. My desk, if you were to look at my desk, you would think my desk is broken because I used to be streaming downstairs, but we were going to get another roommate, and so we moved my stuff upstairs to my bedroom. And
Mhm.
so I didn't have the space for an L-shaped desk. So rather than spend the money on that, we took off the side, and there was nothing supporting this side of the desk. So we took the drawers, the cabinet part, off of the side part and slid it underneath, and it's just sitting on top of it, holding it up.
If it works, then it works. That's
Yeah, so it's like, this is interesting. So it's like super heavy to move it, and it's like, I don't know if I want to move it anymore.
that's what I'm. We talked about me and a couple of my buddies talking about going over to IKEA and picking up a few desks just because they got nice desks. They're
Oh,
big and I'm just like I can put everything on here, but I don't want to drive all the way to IKEA.
yeah.
That's
I just remember why I was mentioning that. So I bring that up because of it being those L-shaped desks. Like I have no way to cable management because it's not just like one of those like you see a lot of the gaming setups is there's just a countertop and just or not a countertop but just some type of top and then just legs.
Yeah.
because I have all this other stuff. I have, of course, it's hard to see on the thing, but like probably 3 or 4 feet of space underneath my desk. Everything else is drawers and things, or the
Yeah.
PC. So I have no room for cable management. So everything's just like laying in the floor.
Man, that's the way mine is. So looking at chat, see cable management, cable ties and sleeve are the best friend. That's what I had to do. I went and bought a bunch of cable ties, like Velcro cable ties, and just every like 6-7 inches, just wrapped it up, It's so like underneath like my desk and even back behind like my drum set where I have all my cables. So I have my lights, I have everything for like my soundboard, for all my drum equipment, like everything. It is garbage back there too. But I just put it all in one big clump, and I was like, and just put that right there. That looks good. That's
Yep. So yeah, needless to say, no one comes in this room to check out my streaming stuff because if you were to take a picture, it's a picture you don't want to post of a streaming setup.
as long as it looks good on camera, it doesn't really matter.
Well, all you see is me, so
It's on camera. Yep, exactly.
yeah,
Trying to see.
it's interesting. So back to some of our earlier questions on topics on about your channel and stuff. What are your plans for? First, how long have you been streaming?
How long have I been streaming? Ooh. So I started in October of 2018.
Okay, you
So
started before I did.
a little over a year. So yeah, I'm at like the start of like my second year.
You're almost a year and a half.
God,
Because I
man.
started January 2019, and I just hit a year last month. So you started a few months before I did. So you're a year and 4 months.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't realize you started before I did. I didn't realize that.
I I didn't realize that either. I was very inconsistent. I've been consistent for about a year, I
I
would
would
think.
I would not sound
But
consistent because it's like mine because my with my work schedule my work schedule is pretty consistent, but I am a what we call it appointment lead because I do software development, and so
mhm.
anytime there's a release to a customer, I have to stay late, and that
Oh.
sometimes throws me off because depending on which customer it is, it's either Tuesday night or Wednesday night or Thursday night, so my schedule is nowhere near consistent. So and then like I said earlier, I was like, that's why I pushed the weekends, but now it's like, okay, we're doing this Hobo Slayers. So it's like now it's less consistent on weekends.
See, I say consistent, but I was it earlier, like trying to have a kid and everything. It obviously I'm gonna put him way before streaming
Oh yeah.
any time of day. So, but most part, a little over a year is total.
So in that span of the time, um, did you ever so when you started, did you ever expect to be where you are today in that time frame?
Oh no, not at all. Um, I started out. So the reason why I started streaming is I had to learn OBS for the job I had during that time. And so I was like, I don't know anything about OBS. Like, how do I do this? So that's when I started doing research, and I was like, okay, like how does this work? And then that's when I came across Gaming Careers
Yeah.
YouTube channel. So I was like, okay, this is really cool. But all of his stuff was game or like geared towards Twitch. I was like, okay, well, like if I can do this for work, like I already play games and everything, so why not just do that as well? So as I was using it for work, I was learning like doing it for personal for Twitch as well. And then so that I kind of just started from there. And then I was like, well, I'll play games anyway. Kind of everyone's mentality. I play games anyway. Let me just stream it. And now I'm don't even play games anymore. I do music. So
You notice I just threw out that phrase again. Do as I say, not as I do. We were talking before stream about how I went into I went into some credit card debt in order to start streaming. I literally said that before stream. I was like, "Do as I say, not as I do." That should be my catchphrase. I'm the bad example of
Just
streaming.
to say not as I do.
Yep. I'm the example of what not to do when streaming.
I'll tell you what to do all day long.
I can tell you what is wrong.
Yeah. You have personal experience on what's wrong.
Exactly.
Firsthand.
Let's see.
Yeah, but going back to the question is like I never expected to be where I'm at today when I started. It started out as just like I just want to see what happens. I had to learn this anyway, and it's kind of interesting. And then slowly growing, and then I think what really kicked it off for me was I was just doing it. Obviously, doing variety streams with starting out, there's no one in chat ever.
Hmm.
So I somehow was doing research on my own. I don't know why or what happened. Anyway, I came across the Rocket Punch
Yeah.
cast, and I was like, interesting. Like they're like the only place that's local. So
Or so you
that's
thought.
yeah. So I thought, yeah. So that's when I kind of met up with like talked to them, like follow them on social medias and stuff. And that's around the time. Was it in game? We all went to the
Yeah.
movies.
Well, one of
So
those.
it
I
was
can't remember
in
which
game.
one.
It was one of the Avengers. I know that much. Anyway, it was, and we went, and that's when I met you, and then all of them, and then from there, not what a month, 2 months later, is when Miss Hobo Slayer came out and was like, "Hey, I'm in the same area, and we're gonna start doing meetups." I was like, "What? There's other people?" And then from there, it has exploded tremendously. So to think that I was just by myself thinking I was alone, to now that we have a group that meets up every now and then, reaching to 60 people.
Yeah.
Like, never thought that this would ever happen ever.
Yeah. I actually just looked, and you're about to approach 400 followers.
Yes.
So, in a
That
little over a year, like I said, like that was the point of my question. I was like, after a little over a year, you're almost at 400 followers. So apparently, you didn't expect anywhere to get near that. Apparently,
gosh, no. And like I have finally got some emotes. So I have 3 different emotes now, which never thought I would have that many. Like it's incredible to think where I'm at now. I never would have thought this. It was honestly just started out as a hobby. And yeah, here it
yeah,
is. It's actually turning into something that I have a little more fun with.
yep. And yes, Ropanek, he is almost at 400. He's at 382 right now. So he's getting there fast.
Creeping up on it. I gotta figure out what I want to do to celebrate. I gotta think of something. I don't know if I'll do something at 400. I probably will do it at 500 though.
Yep, I understand. My number. So funny thing is, my favorite number for some reason is 25. So when I hit 250, I celebrate for that.
Okay.
So because it was just times 10. So
There
yeah, most people
you
celebrate
go.
200. Nope, I celebrate 250.
250. I wasn't even paying attention. I tried not to keep up with like the only thing I really keep up with like analytic wise is I keep up with like average viewership.
Yeah,
So I keep up with that as well as I have a little notebook of all social media I post. So
interesting.
if any like so all like my going live tweets or my like anything on Instagram or whatever, I kind of keep analytics of that as well and see how they correspond. So hey, if why did this tweet do better and did that increase my average viewership? I recently started doing that like the beginning of this year.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the only really analytic I kind of pay attention to. Everything else I try to avoid because I'm a numbers person anyway, and if I look at too many numbers, I'll get focused on it, and I
Yeah.
know that everyone says that's bad. Obviously,
Yep. There's a few things they recommend. For example, hiding the viewer count, things like that. I look at a little bit of analytics. I keep track of the average like you do, but I mostly like keep track of it in terms of I look at the email at the end of the stream and see what it says.
Yeah.
That's my keeping track of it. I just look at it and go, oh, I was hoping my average would be a little higher for the last 30 days. Uh, I do have some goals, things like that. My goal is to
Mhm.
someday outbeat Rocket Punch.
Oh, all right. Calling them out like that in front of everything.
Oh, this is not the last time I did that. They like, I did it on their actual podcast. Actually,
You did it on their podcast.
they invited me on the podcast. So
That's
they were
funny.
talking about my channel growing, and like I was like, yeah, I just hit. I think I just hit 200, and they're like, yeah, we just hit like 260, and I hit 200, but by the time I was on the podcast, I was like at 230. And so I was like, I'm gonna eventually pass y'all and get and outgrow past y'all. And that's the end. They're like 300, 350. I'm like, wait a minute.
You're like, hold up now. I was getting closer. That's funny now.
So
So
yeah,
I'm gonna have to mention that next time I see him, especially if I talk to
Will wasn't
him.
on the podcast. Will was away, but it was Cam. I said that too, and he was like, "Oh, are you now?" And then that's just whoop. I was like, "Dang it."
I can see Cam doing that. He's like, oh, okay, that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, he laughed about it, but it was just funny because like a week later I was like, "Dang it!" I messaged him, I was like, "Dang it!" I almost caught up to y'all, and then y'all like zoom past me. He's like, "You'll get there eventually." I was like, "Gee,
Th-
thanks."
They're doing some good stuff over there.
Yep. But yeah,
They're doing
they're actually the
good.
ones that got me into streaming.
Yeah, I remember you saying that like when we first met.
Yep. So yeah, I was getting ready to build my PC and I asked some questions to them because they were the only ones I knew that streamed at the time.
Hmm.
And so I asked a question to them, and so they're like, "Well, I actually wasn't thinking about streaming," and so I was just wanting to build a new PC. And I was asking them questions. I was like, "Well, they're like, if you're going to build one, build it to stream as well, because if you're gaming, you must be streaming."
Yeah,
So they're the ones that got me into it.
that's kind of how it always starts. Is though if you're gaming, might as well stream it. That's literally everyone I know who streams. That's how it started out.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Now now me and you both know so many people that stream.
Yeah, like my people I know now, like there's more and more streamers. Not only that, but it's not like within the community, but like even like here, like my town or whatever. Like people are like, "Oh yeah, I do this." I do. Like I'm finding more people like, "Oh yeah, you do this and you do this," and it's interesting to like how we were talking about earlier. Like it's becoming normalized now instead of being a select people. Like anyone can do this now.
Yeah, I'm amazed at some of the things people stream. That not amazed that like it's a bad thing, but it's like I never thought about streaming those things. Like we got people who stream like you do music. I've seen people do video editing.
Yep.
So I actually did a video editing stream while I was learning it, but there's people who like get permission from their clients. Go, hey, my content is video editing. Why show how I do these things? Would you mind if I did yours on stream or something like that? And you see all this stuff things and
Like
um
that's so cool.
yep. I seen game development. For example, is another one. I've got
I know here on Twitch there's an entire category dedicated to cooking.
yeah. So cooking
Like
is another
just
one.
cooking. I was like, what the
I actually know someone. I gotta invite him to the meetups. I keep getting to invite him, but yeah, Cartoffa does art streams.
Yep.
There's a guy down in Birmingham. I keep getting invited to the Discord, but he's all coding streams. But he actually does
Hmm.
on Sundays. He has I think $2. He gets them on the channel and interviews some female coder who did it for a living and lets the kids ask questions. So
That is cool.
and so that was something I never thought about. I mean, it's a kind of a podcast of sorts, but he doesn't release it anywhere except on Twitch. But it's just a
Yeah.
way to expose his kids to, uh, uh, some person who is a role model, basically a female role model.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, I never thought of anything like that. It's just amazing what people come up with.
Yeah. And like now, like I said, with the technology and the internet that we have now, like not even just here on Twitch, but any other platform like YouTubers and it's like people have been doing YouTube for a while. And like it's more and more people are literally creating their own businesses with this. This is what it is. A lot of
Mhm.
people think businesses are just brick and mortar, but no, like this is it. You have to manage the income that you get versus the outgo. You have to work on marketing. You have to work on networking. It's literally the same thing.
Yep.
It-
I
It's
mean,
I love seeing people create businesses and do things like that for themselves.
yeah. I mean, that's like you said, it's basically what it is because you're having to, you just got the multiple hats.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Because
then
you're,
if you ask anyone who has a brick and mortar store how they started, the owner had to do pretty much everything.
yep. You had to do
It's the
everything. You
same
were,
way.
you're the marketing team. You're the ones building the thing in the back, or what? In this case,
Yep.
the putting the layouts and putting all that stuff together and everything else. And you're the person doing the video editing. You're everything. So
Exactly. Yep.
yeah, it's amazing how streaming relates to so many other industries and so many other things that are out there.
It really is. And it's people are using it more too. Not just it relates, like other companies are realizing that this is an untapped market now. It's growing so fast that larger businesses like this is something that we could really use.
Yeah. Um, and actually, I just thought of something. Something you might not know is, as far as the untapped market, there are actually most people don't realize this, but you've actually got like military into this industry.
Really, I didn't know that.
So the army has, you may have seen it in high school. In high school, my high school, they used to when they'd have the tables and stuff, and
Mhm.
to talk to students, they actually used to give out a game called America's Army. It was on a little CD. Now you can get it on Steam, no cost, just like it always has been. But it's actually made. The game is actually made by a company here in Huntsville,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
and they actually have an America's Army Twitch channel. It don't get streamed on often, but there's an untapped market where you got the Army basically promoting their own stuff, the thing they used to recruit on Twitch, basically.
Yeah. That's interesting. I had no idea that was a thing.
Hmm.
No idea.
Yep. So it's that was something I learned in this past year, actually, 2019.
That's really cool. Our military is using Twitch.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That was one of the things that made me realize, wow, more and more people are realizing the potential live streaming has
Yeah.
to the overall culture that we have nowadays.
And it's a double-edged sword though, because you also have all those people who have been like, if you're not careful, like people like get you swatted and people will find
Yep.
out your personal information. That's just you just have to be careful with that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. So here's a question for you: have you ever had to ban someone on your channel? And if you did, what was the feeling like the first time you had to do that?
I've had to ban a couple of different people, and I have not felt bad for doing it. One person came in and immediately just started spamming profanity. So
Okay.
immediate, like I didn't even give him a timeout, immediate ban. Then we've had a couple people come in and start spamming like their own links.
Yeah.
So they would try to do it as like a YouTube link for like a song request, but it was like their Twitch. So I immediately banned them for that. And then there's been bots.
Yep.
So I say this a lot. So it's only probably about like 5 or 6 different people total. Um, but I haven't felt bad for it, and it is never. I've had to time out a few people before too, but
Yeah.
once you time them out, most of them kind of whip into shape pretty much after that. But the people I have banned, they didn't. There wasn't like any warning. Like they came in wanting to get banned. Like
Yeah. I
the, this is to me. I'm just like, I'm not going to deal with any of that. It's like why?
People that get banned usually deserve it, so no reason to feel bad. Well, I mean, I wasn't saying if he felt bad. I mean, I was just thinking more like For me, for example, I was shocked. My first one was last night, actually.
Oh man.
So I was just like, because I was playing World War Z with Sniper 2010 and another person in Twitch Huntsville group, and I happened to look over at chat, and one of my mods had banned somebody, and I didn't even see the message on that, so I didn't know what happened. Well,
Yeah.
then next thing I knew, I got a message from the person, and it was apparently the exact same message that got banned. He got banned for, and it was like, "Want to be famous? Check out this link to do this." He
Yep,
couldn't get.
I've had a couple. Yeah, that's just those bots coming in spamming it. My
Yep. So I was
gosh.
like, uh, well, it was just a shock. I was like, well, wait, this is the person that just got banned. Why is he messaging me? So I thought he was maybe looking to say, hey, this is why did I get banned or whatever. I was like that. No, it was like he posted the exact same thing in
Literally the
DM.
same exact message. Yep. That happened. That literally happened to me the other night too. It was the same thing. And I was like, mods. Because I was like in the middle of playing a song. And I was like, mods, handle this.
Yep. So that was fine. And then the next thing I knew, I got another one later on. And my mod was in the middle of something, so I couldn't do it. So I just banned the person myself. I was like,
Yeah.
it was the exact same message too, just a different bot.
Yep. So there's been a few times like I usually let my mods handle it, but there's been like that one dude who came in and spammed profanity. Like my mods weren't able to like be there that night. I don't
Yeah.
have very many mods anyway. So like I was in the middle of a song and just like literally just stopped what I was doing. And I was like, all right. So like had to replay the song and everything, but I was like, there's gosh, like that just gets under my skin. I'm like, why? Why would what in your mind says this is what I'm gonna do today? This would be a good idea.
Yeah. So my channel, we typically time out first and then unwarn. Like warn, timeout, and then ban. But that was
Yeah.
obvious. It was a bot, so we're just like, just ban, just give it
Yeah.
up.
Like I said, I try to like I try to do the same. I try to warn timeout then ban, but like I said, if you come in, the first thing that you like say in my chat is like profanity. I'm like,
Yeah, or inappropriate stuff. I've had that.
yeah, yeah. I'm just like, I'm not dealing with that at all. Like I label my stream as family friendly, and if you're in here ruining that, then it's not a part of my brand. So therefore, I don't want you here. Like it's
Yeah. So my channel is interesting because mine is family friendly yet it's more mature because the games have content.
yeah. That was an issue whenever I played games too, because I was bouncing on that line because like I try not to curse, like, too much whenever I play games, I do, like, it just happens.
Yeah.
But when I do music, like, I can, like there's no reason for me to, like anything to slip up, and, like, most people know, like, I'll try to put it in, like, the rules when people before people request songs, like, make sure the song has no profanity, or if it does, like, very, very few words.
Yeah.
Um, but now that I've done that, it's like, my chat's been really good about following certain rules.
Yeah. Now I slip up every now and then, but like I said, mine's more mature because I'll play a game like I'm trying to think of one like Last of Us, something like that. There's words in there, and there's words in other games like that where it's like, okay, I
Yeah.
may not be saying it, but
They're
you know,
still there.
they're still there, and I want to warn people ahead of time. You know, there is going to be some content that's maybe not from me per se, but from the content I'm generating.
Yeah. At least that's a fine line to walk. That's kind of a weird one to because you're like
Witcher, yes.
Witcher.
I have not played it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's funny. That one got me.
What's fun? Like I said, what's funny is I've never played it. Yeah, I know exactly what they're talking about.
Have you seen the Netflix series?
I have not. I have so many shows I watch. I have not taken on anything new right now.
The Netflix series is good. Like you don't have to know anything about The Witcher. I mean, it helps so you can kind of like piece things together quicker, but you don't have to know anything. It's
Well,
a
I heard
solid
it's a little
series.
confusing because some people's point of view is going one direction in time, and the other one's going the other. I heard that.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, that's what confused me. I didn't realize it was like there's different timelines until like halfway through the season. I'm like, oh, okay, this all makes sense now.
Yeah.
But before I was super confused at the beginning, super confused.
I was looking for like people's feedback about the show and stuff like that, and
Hmm.
there was one person who was basically their basically entire half of their review article was like, people chill out about this. This is why you're confused. Quit throwing words out there about this movie. It's a good movie if you understand this one thing,
Yep. And once
or a
once
good
you
show.
watch it, the if you watch it the first time, and then like if you don't catch it till later, and you go back and rewatch it, it makes so much more sense. It makes the show like better the second time through because you're
Yeah.
able to piece things together and like see it ahead of time.
Right, and then you actually make you can you see piece things together, and you can actually understand what they're talking about because you understand the timelines is better, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, I understand that. Yeah, I haven't watched that. What have I watched lately? I've been more on the I guess the CW shows type stuff lately.
Okay, yeah.
I've been more on like some of the DC shows, things like that.
I never got into many of those. The only one I got into was Gotham.
I only watched the
But
first season of Gotham, and that was it. I could not get into it.
really, that's the only one I could. Arrow and Flash were bad to me. I could not watch those.
See, because I started off the first any of the superhero ish shows I watched was uh Agents of Shield.
Mm. Agent of Shields are so good.
It was at first, and it went downhill.
Fair enough.
And
I never
so
finished. I watched like the first like couple of seasons and then kind of stopped there.
yeah, so after like season 2 or 3, I think it went downhill, and then everything after that from Marvel on TV shows, in my opinion, was not good. And
Yeah.
so Marvel was better at movies, in my opinion, so I just kept to the movies. But DC had horrible movies, but great TV shows.
See, I would think otherwise. I love the DC movies, other than Suicide Squad. We'll cancel that one out. But
I
all
the
the other,
only the I thought Suicide Squad was okay, but the only DC movies I liked was Wonder Woman and Aquaman. I didn't
yeah,
I did not like Batman. The last Batman movie I liked was the Dark Knight series, the trilogy or whatever it was. That was the last Batman movie I liked.
really.
Yep.
See,
I didn't like
I
Man of
liked
Steel or its Superman versus Batman one. Didn't like that either.
Superman versus Batman could have been better. I will say that it was to me. It was a really good one. I loved Man of Steel. Man of Steel was phenomenal.
I would have liked Man of Steel better if they had the person who plays Superman in the Supergirl TV show as him. I didn't
Yeah,
like the way the actor did Superman.
fair enough.
I felt like because like in Supergirl, the person who plays Superman felt like it was more true to the character. I think.
I could see that. Dude, he plays a great Witcher, though. I'll tell you that right now. Go backtracking a little bit.
Okay.
Man.
Yeah, you kind of lost me there. So I was.
Yeah. You know, so the guy who plays Superman in The Man of Steel is the same guy who plays Geralt in the Witcher TV series.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So he I can't remember. Oh, there it is. Yeah, Henry
Cavill.
Cavill. He is a phenomenal Geralt. Because I was a little hesitant at first when they announced that he was going to be doing it. I was like, I
Huh.
don't know, but seeing him, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I see it now. Okay.
Chance Henry is the best boy. Agreed.
Let's
I
see.
watched one YouTube video too of him like when he was training to be Superman and when he was training to be like Geralt in The Witcher. Like his workout routine is stupid. Like no human should be able to do the things that he does. He like really is a real life Superman. It's but it's ridiculous.
Want to make sure I got the right name here. Yeah. So I'm posting it in chat. This is the person who plays Superman on Supergirl, or plays Clark Kent.
Okay. Did you ever watch any of the Smallville TV series like a long time ago?
I did not. What channel was that on? I can't remember.
That was a I don't remember. I remember like watching it on like DVD. It might have been a CW one, but Smallville, like it was, there would be like one good episode and then like three bad episodes, and then like one really good episode and then like three bad episodes. But
Okay.
you had to keep watching it because of the good episodes.
Apparently, it lasted 10 years. I didn't know it went that long.
It lasted forever. And I'm looking at the guy that you posted, Tyler. Hey, he looks like a Superman.
Yep. See. I mean, he's got that. He's got that Clark Kent kind of nerdy type look, like you'd expect from like the comic book things like that. And he kind of, and when he plays the Superman character, I feel like he does a good job going from the Clark Kent over to how Superman should act.
Yeah. I'll have to go watch some of the videos or like
Oh, this
episodes with
is.
him in it.
Oh man, I didn't realize this. So Tom Welling played on Smallville as Clark Kent.
Was
I,
that his name?
yeah, Tom Welling played Clark Kent. So Tom Welling, it was one of the main characters on season 4 of what was that show called? I'm drawing a blank now.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Lucifer,
But
the
that's
TV
like
show.
oh, Lucifer. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
he was the captain or whatever for one of the seasons.
Okay, I need to go back and finish watching that one too. I'm like, I finished season one and then like I got sidetracked with it.
Oh
But
man,
season one was really good.
that show is great. They're actually working on the last season right now. Season 5 is gonna be its last season.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah,
I heard
they
because I heard it like it stopped at 4 and people were upset. The Netflix picked it up and they're like, all right, we'll
net
finish it out the right
Netflix
way.
picked up 4.
Oh, they picked up 4. Okay.
So
I'm,
from what I understand, I think they decided on season 3. They're going to do season 4, and then I think that they canceled halfway through or something like that. And Netflix picked it up and finished it, and now they're going to do season 5.
okay, because I remember when Netflix picked it up, like it was a big deal.
Yeah,
And I was like, that's why I started watching it. I was like, I have no idea what this show is.
I could have that wrong, but I think that's how it worked. Yeah, I was watching it here a while back, and I was getting caught up on it. I was like, and that's when that was about the time the Netflix announced season 5, and I was like, oh man, I'm so excited for this now. And but yeah, there's no release date, nothing like that. I'm like, dang it, just throw it out there.
Yeah.
But it's supposedly I've heard I follow several of the actors from that, and there are supposedly they're saying that they're going to end the show the way it should have been. So I'm really excited about that. See how it turns
Yeah,
out.
that's what I kept hearing when they picked it up. So evidently, somewhere along the line, someone messed up.
Yeah, the way season 4 ended, it's like that is not a way to end a TV show. It's like
I was like,
very disappointing. So
did you ever watch the TV show Lost? Like that had the worst ending.
I watched season 1 because I got lost watching Lost.
Lost, it got good until like the season 3 kind of dulled down because like there was a writer's strike during that time. So like no one there was like no good writing, and then from there it kind of just like it just went downhill.
Yeah, I watched Lost on season 1 when it was airing on TV. I watched it with my family, and they watched further than that. But I was so confused in season 1. I was like, I can't keep watching this. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Once you finish the fear, like it was good. Like the first couple of seasons were season like mid season 3 happened. That's when it started going downhill.
Yeah, I'm catching up with chat here. We got people calling Asian anime dude the Weeb Master.
To unleash
Unleash the
the weeb.
Weeb. Game show with challenges and quizzes. Oh man.
I think we're on to something.
So Danzig, why didn't we ever see that in the episode with you? You left off a whole side of you we didn't even see. Listen, man.
Listen, man. Excuse me.
Man, Dad, it's not end up on the podcast at the same time. Some things are just not meant for live entertainment.
Version
Silent
of
Live.
Silent Live. I'm not sure how that one would work.
I don't know either.
We could figure it out though.
Run that any day. All right. So, BlackRock, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I can't think of any. So those few articles, kind of the biggest thing that I had, when at least my area of here at Twitch, that was kind of the biggest news.
You want to talk about those real quick then?
Yeah, we'll kind of do a brief overview.
I'll let you.
So
I'll
like
let you take it.
Yeah, so like one thing that we talked about was the Athena, a person named Athena, not the Twitch streamer,
Yeah.
was announces the music manager on Twitch. So whatever that's supposed to mean, I'm not really sure, but her tweets, so the two primary focus is create get more music communities involved and engaged on Twitch and growing the amount of time spent watching music streams on the platform, end quote. So however they're going to go about that, still kind of up in the air, but it's interesting to see that the Twitch is taking a lot more interest in the music side of things on their platform. And then the other thing that we kind of talked about, not really associated with Twitch, but Drake signs a streaming deal with Caffeine, doing music on Caffeine. Not really too much details in the article, but it's just interesting that a major like artist is doing live streaming in some form. So it's interesting to see that just the music industry is kind of grabbing a hold of the whole live streaming thing and kind of running with it. But that's so those kind of the two of the biggest news recently within the music side of here on Twitch and or streaming in general.
Okay. Anything else you want to cover, or is that it?
That's about all I got.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, I'm glad I came and was able to hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, man. And if you ever want to get on, you know where the sign up sheet is. So you're welcome to sign up. I know you said you had to sign up several weeks in advance because your work schedule, but
Yeah, work schedule and family and everything. I gotta
yep.
work way ahead of that. But yeah, for sure.
Generally, the sign up sheet has the current month, but there are fill-in days. So if you want to say the next month and put a day down, you can go up and change one of those fill-in dates. If you want to schedule
All right.
ahead.
Yeah, sure thing.
And I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us today. BlackRock, where can they find you at?
So all social media is going to be blackrock14. That's going to be Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, here on Twitch. I believe Instagram is the only thing that has an underscore between BlackRock and 14, but everything else should be one word, BlackRock14 on all social medias. And yeah, kept it easy for you.
There you go. All right. And once again, I am Pallas. My channel is PallasStreams. Unlike BlackRock, I am not art and entertainment. I am variety. The only time you'll see me doing art is if I end up doing anything with video editing, which I've only done once so far, but I'm thinking about doing that more as I learn more stuff. But I am PallasStreams pretty much everywhere except YouTube, which is just Pallas. Once again, thank you for joining me. We're gonna rate a team member. I will leave it up to the guests to decide. We have Nosh, Calamity, and Game Camiller on the team who are live. Who would you like to
Let's see.
raid?
Let's go raid Nosh. I haven't raided him in a while.
All right, we're gonna raid Nosh.
I think I've only raided him like one other time before.
Cool. All right, we're gonna raid Nosh. Thank you again for everybody for joining us. We will all see you tomorrow for community night, and then
Ooh.
tomorrow night's community night, and then next Saturday we have another podcast with Sniper Eye 2010. If anybody wants to be a part of that, please let me know, and we can get more people in. Until next time, we'll see you later.
All right. See y'all.